The fog rolls in heavy, a dense blanket obscuring the world beyond. It creeps and crawls, a silent invader swallowing everything in its path. It often does, here in San Francisco Bay. The bay is a natural conduit for these ethereal drifts, a place where the line between reality and illusion blurs. It's a chilling reminder of the isolation to come. Alcatraz emerges, a dark silhouette, a stark and forbidding shape against the swirling gray. It looms like a phantom, a monument to despair. Barbed wire glints dully in the faint light, a cruel crown atop this island of sorrow. It serves as a constant reminder of the boundaries, both physical and metaphorical, that confine those within. Waves crash relentlessly against its base, an unending assault that mirrors the internal battles of the men imprisoned within. The ocean's fury is a constant companion. The wind whispers tales of sorrow, secrets carried on the breeze from cell to cell, from year to year. It howls and moans, a lament for lost hope. This place was built to hold men, and to hold their despair. Every stone, every bar, every cold, damp cell was designed to crush the spirit. The sounds of Alcatraz are distinct, a symphony of isolation played out against the backdrop of the unforgiving sea. The mournful call of distant foghorns echoing across the water, a lonely sound that amplifies the feeling of abandonment. The cries of gulls, circling endlessly overhead, their freedom a stark contrast to the captivity below. They are the only witnesses to the island's secrets, the constant roar of the Pacific, a relentless reminder of the vast, impassable barrier that separated Alcatraz from the mainland. These sounds were the daily music, a soundtrack to confinement, a constant, grating reminder of their isolation. It was a symphony of despair. The island itself is a formidable presence, known simply as the Rock, a name that speaks to its unyielding nature, its implacable facade. Its cliffs rise steeply from the water, sheer, unclimbable, a natural barrier reinforced by man's ingenuity, or so they thought. The human spirit, even in its darkest hour, is capable of extraordinary feats. Dangerous currents swirl around its shores, a treacherous gauntlet for any would-be escapee. The frigid waters are a formidable deterrent. Nature and man conspired here, creating a prison unlike any other, a place where hope itself seemed to wither and die, making escape a distant dream, a flickering ember in the face of overwhelming odds. It was isolation made real, a tangible manifestation of the despair that consumed so many within its walls. This island was designed to break spirits, to strip away any vestige of hope, and leave only the cold, hard reality of their confinement. For many it was the end of the line, the final destination for those deemed beyond redemption. The nation's most notorious criminals, the outlaws and gangsters who had terrorized the country. Alcatraz was deemed escape-proof, a fortress of steel and stone designed to withstand any attempt at liberation. The air here felt heavy, thick with the weight of history, the echoes of suffering, and the palpable sense of hopelessness. Heavy with the weight of lost years and the ghosts of broken men, their stories etched into the very fabric of the island. But even here, hope flickered. In June of 1962, a story began. A story that would become legend. 3 men dared to challenge the Rock: Frank Morris, John Anglin, Clarence Anglin. Their plan was audacious, intricate. Their fate remains a haunting question. Did they find freedom or did the Bay claim them? No bodies were ever found. The FBI said they perished, but doubt lingers. The mystery only deepens with time. Alcatraz was a fortress designed for containment. The water was cold, swift, unforgiving. Their attempt was an act of sheer audacity. For some, it was a spark, a whisper of impossible hope. The unanswered questions keep the story alive, a story of desperate men and their ultimate, unknown fate. Alcatraz began as a military fortification. In 1934 it became a federal penitentiary for the worst of the worst. Maximum security, minimum privilege. Life here was strict, unyielding routine. Its reputation was built on isolation, not just from the mainland but within the prison itself. Men were confined to single cells, rules of silence enforced. Contact with the outside world severely limited. It was psychological warfare meant to crush rebellion. Daily life was grinding monotony, surveillance was constant, yard time was brief. A small concrete space with a view of the city, a painful reminder of lost freedom. Each day a copy of the last. Alcatraz was designed to break inmates. Privileges were few, comforts non-existent. The mental toll was immense. A place of grim endurance where hope seemed a foreign word. Frank Lee Morris arrived in 1960. Highly intelligent, quiet, observant, a history of escapes. He was the mastermind. The Anglin brothers, John and Clarence, came later. Bank robbers, escape artists, bound by blood. John was resourceful, strong, determined. Clarence was loyal, equally resolute. Their bond was a powerful asset. Prior escape experience made them invaluable. They knew how to improvise, endure hardship. Together, they were a formidable team. These men shared a fierce refusal to accept their fate. They were not model prisoners. Their focus was singular: freedom. Alcatraz wasn't an end, it was a new challenge. The seeds of a desperate, brilliant plan began to take root. United by one impossible dream, the escape was set in motion. The plan, audacious as it was, began with a simple yet crucial observation. It was a spark of ingenuity in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. The men were trapped, but their minds were free, searching for any weakness in the fortress that held them. Frank Morris, a man of keen intellect and unwavering resolve, noticed something. He observed the state of the old, corroded concrete surrounding the ventilation grates in their cells. It was a detail easily overlooked, but to Morris, it was a beacon. Years of relentless exposure to damp, salty air carried in from the bay had significantly weakened the structural integrity of the walls. The constant moisture and salt had eaten away at the concrete, making it brittle and vulnerable. This seemingly insignificant flaw, a crack in the fortress, represented a glimmer of hope, a potential path to freedom. It was a testament to the power of observation and the ability to find opportunity where others saw only despair. Their tools were primitive, born of necessity and smuggled or fashioned from the scraps they could find, but they were also incredibly ingenious. Sharpened spoons, honed against the concrete floor, became makeshift chisels. They even managed to create a makeshift drill from a salvaged vacuum motor, a testament to their resourcefulness and mechanical aptitude. Old saw blades, pilfered from the prison workshop, were repurposed for cutting through metal. They worked tirelessly with what they had, improvising and adapting to the limitations of their environment. Each scrape, each chip of concrete, carried the immense risk of discovery, potentially leading to solitary confinement or worse. Patience, more than any tool, was their closest ally in this endeavor. They understood that haste would be their undoing. The digging was slow, painstaking work, requiring immense focus and control. Night after night, under the cover of darkness and the dim glow of their cells, they toiled in secret. They cleverly used the prison's music hour, particularly the loud, boisterous sounds of accordions, to muffle the sounds of their clandestine activities. Every speck of concrete dust was meticulously collected and carefully disposed of, leaving no trace of their work. They worked in cramped, confined spaces, their bodies aching, their spirits tested. The ever-present threat of guards on patrol loomed large, casting long shadows and fueling their anxiety. Inch by agonizing inch, they chipped away at the unforgiving concrete, driven by an unyielding desire for freedom. Their first objective, the initial target of their painstaking efforts, was to breach the wall and gain access to the utility corridor located directly behind their cells. This corridor was an unguarded, forgotten network of pipes, electrical conduits, and service tunnels. If they could manage to reach it unseen and undetected, a monumental task in itself, it would become their hidden highway, a secret passage leading them closer to the outside world. A pathway that would allow for further exploration of the prison's underbelly and serve as the crucial next stage of their meticulously crafted escape plan. This was the first major hurdle, the initial obstacle standing between them and freedom. Slowly, painstakingly, the concrete began to yield to their relentless efforts. The escape route, once a distant dream, was slowly but surely opening before them. Every night that passed brought them tantalizingly closer to their ultimate goal. The risk of discovery and the potential consequences were immense, a constant weight on their shoulders. But their determination, fueled by the burning desire for freedom, was even greater, an unstoppable force driving them forward. An empty bed meant instant alarm. Guards made regular head counts. Their plan required hours of absence. They needed a way to fool the guards. They crafted dummy heads. Soap, wax, concrete dust, toilet paper, and real human hair, painted to look eerily real. Each night the dummies were placed in their beds, blankets arranged to mimic sleeping forms. In the dim light the illusion worked. The tension was unbearable. One mistake and it was over. But the dummy heads bought them precious time. Hours to dig, hours to prepare. Escaping the cell block was only the first step. The cold San Francisco Bay awaited. They needed a raft. Materials were scarce, so they used raincoats. More than 50 prison-issue raincoats, slowly acquired, rubberized cotton, waterproof if sealed right. They stitched and vulcanized the coats together, using cement adhesive and heat from steam pipes. The raft was inflated with a concertina. Their route was planned, Angel Island or the marine headlands. They studied tide tables and currents. It would be a perilous journey, 2 miles in a makeshift raft against powerful currents. This was their blueprint for freedom. Every detail mattered. The final preparations began. The night was June 11th, 1962. The tides aligned, preparations complete, hearts pounded. This was the moment of truth. They slipped from their cells through the ventilator openings into the dark utility corridor. Dummy heads lay in their bunks, hopefully fooling the guards. They navigated hidden passages, climbed pipes, squeezed through shafts, upwards toward the roof. The prison was silent, or so they hoped. Fear of discovery was constant. Finally, they reached the water's edge. The cold night air hit their faces. They inflated the raft, the concertina wheezing softly. This was the moment. Launching their fragile vessel into the black, choppy waters, toward freedom. The sun began its ascent, painting the sky with hues of orange and gray. Morning arrived, June 12, 1962. A seemingly ordinary day was about to unfold, but beneath the surface, a carefully orchestrated plan had reached its critical hour. The chill of the San Francisco Bay still clung to the air, a constant reminder of the island's isolation. Guards, their footsteps echoing in the cold stone corridors, walked the tiers for roll call. Routine was the bedrock of Alcatraz, a shield against the unpredictable nature of its inmates, but this morning, routine would be shattered. But something was wrong. An unsettling silence hung in the air, a subtle deviation from the usual cacophony of prison life. A sense of unease began to creep into the guards' morning ritual. In cell block B, cells 138, 150, 152. The heart of the mystery. These were not just numbers, they were the addresses of ambition, desperation, and a daring plot. The bunks of Morris and the Anglins, empty, devoid of their occupants. The realization dawned that something extraordinary had occurred. Alan West, left behind, a wrench in the gears of their meticulously crafted escape. His hole not large enough, a cruel twist of fate, leaving him trapped while his comrades ventured into the unknown. A guard, flashlight beam cutting through the dim light, prodded a sleeping form, a routine check, about to reveal a shocking deception. The head moved unnaturally, then tumbled to the floor with a dull thud, the illusion shattered. A dummy, plaster, paint, real hair meticulously glued to the surface, a testament to their patience and resourcefulness. The alarm sounded, a piercing shriek that echoed across the island. Sirens wailed across the island, their mournful cries carrying over the water to San Francisco. The escape had been discovered. Alcatraz went into lockdown, every gate slammed shut, every corridor patrolled. The hunt was on. An intensive search began, a desperate attempt to recapture the escapees. Every cell, meticulously examined, every shadow scrutinized. Every corridor, every nook and cranny, searched with increasing urgency. Every shoreline, the jagged rocks offering potential hiding places. The waters of the bay were scanned, searchlights piercing the murky depths. But Morris and the Anglins were gone, vanished into the fog, swallowed by the bay's embrace. Only their tools and the holes in their cell walls remained, silent witnesses to their audacious act. The enduring question still hangs in the air, a persistent echo in the annals of criminal history. Did they make it to shore, achieving the impossible? Or did the bay claim them, its treacherous currents and frigid waters becoming their final prison? The FBI, after years of investigation, closed the case in 1979. Their conclusion, the men likely drowned, succumbing to the unforgiving elements. But no conclusive proof ever surfaced, leaving the door ajar for speculation and intrigue. Whispers and theories persist, fueled by the lack of definitive answers. Sightings reported, adding fuel to the fire of speculation, blurring the line between fact and fiction. The legend of Alcatraz's only successful escape lives on, etched in the collective memory. A final, defiant mystery, shrouded in fog and uncertainty, forever haunting the rock.